to the O Factor, starring Big C and Tracy D, bringing you the best picks of college football this side of the Mississippi.
Woo! I've got all the respect in the world for the cadets, and it was an eye opener to me about all of the plays that they ran that Oklahoma defense just could not stop. When they run a 4th and 3, a 4th and 7, and they pick it up with ease, that tells me a lot about the OU defense is still suspect as it has been in the last few years. I'm upset with the program, but understand that these kids are giving it their best and trying their all. I just know that I felt like the coaches should have had them better prepared. I know the athletes on the defensive unit I felt like they let down the offense this last week, and I don't think they'll do it again against Baylor this week. So if you're looking for Oklahoma to cover the spread, I don't think that's going to happen again. They haven't covered the spread all year long, and I don't think it starts this week. That's a minus 24 to me. Take Baylor in the points.
Well, I'm probably not going to bet that game,
but I don't blame you.
But I believe I would be. I would probably take OU. OU is 1-3 against the spread this year. But historically, the last 2 years at home, they're 9-2 against the spread. So they're due, and that's kind of how I look at it. They're due to hit. I was at that game. I was sitting on the 50-yard line last week. The fans around us were. I knew what Army was going to do. It's very hard to prepare for a team that runs the option, and so the first few times they got the ball, and on 4th down, I was telling the fans around. I said, "They're going for it." "Oh, you're crazy." No, that's what Army does. They control. I didn't know they would control the ball for 45 minutes, but I knew a lot of times they'd go for it on 4th down. They had nothing to lose. They actually had a chance to win. They don't pass the ball there late on that last possession. If they just run the ball, they are in field goal range. All they can do is kick that field goal to win it. But they try to catch Army by surprise, and it was a great game to be at. I think OU may have underestimated Army a little bit.
I think they did, very much so, because, it's all about being prepared. And I just don't think that the coaches had them prepared or haven't seen enough of this type of offense to where they were even prepared for it. So that's all we need to say about Oklahoma. Let's go on to the next few games.
Well, I want to say one thing, because there's a thing there's something that's it kind of bothers me about the OU games that I go to when they sing the national anthem at the end. Instead of "Home of the Brave," they always say "Boomer," and that's just their thing. I personally don't feel like they should be saying that at the end of the national anthem. But much to my surprise, at that game, I would say 90% of the fans sung it right. They said "Brave," and I got tears in my eyes. I guess they did that out of respect for Army, and it was just amazing. They stood up and gave him a standing ovation, and so I just wanted to give a shout out and hand it to the OU fans. That was mighty classy. So now, so do you want to do the injury report real quick? You want me to do it?
You go ahead.
Okay, so Duke, we're just going to talk about the injuries and the games that we're going to talk about. Duke's starting quarterback still out. On top of that, their second-string quarterback got banged up last week, but he is probable. We believe he's going to play. They're playing Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's quarterback got knocked out last week. Let's see. The other notable games, one of my locks of the week is we'll talk about it later, UMass lost 2 quarterbacks last week. They lost their first string and second string. So that's not going to, I'm going to go the other way. That's not going to fare well for them. What else do we got? I think that's the only notable injuries we had last week.
Okay, all right.
So do you have an upset of the week, or you want to go into your 5-star locks?
I'm going to go with my 5-star lock. And
let me give it up to Curtis. I know I had a good week last week, But then and I didn't think I didn't think you had a great week. But when I went back and looked at the tape, Curtis was 5-2 last week, and I was 4-1. I was 4-1. So together we were 9-3.
But your upsets of the week is what propelled you far above a 5-2 record. To me, your upsets of the week were spot on, and both of them. I mean, North Carolina, to me, was something that I was befuddled with you on, and sure enough, here they came out and covered and won, and I was sitting back going, man, he must have got some inside information. But that's all about seeing things on the wrong side. If you see the wrong team getting points, you're looking, wow, I don't think that's going to happen. Well, that was one he picked out, and he sure saw it the right way.
All right.
So, okay, my 5-star lock of the week: Cincinnati versus UConn. UConn is horrible on defense. Horrible. Cincinnati 4-0 against UConn 1-3. Cincinnati scoring an average of 36 points and only giving up 9. That's a -17 Cincinnati. I think they're going to cover easily. UConn's given up 54 points a game. Worst in FBS football. To me, they rank dead last. So I'm going to take the points. Cincinnati giving up 17 against UConn. Go with Cincinnati and lay the lumber on it.
I think that's a good pick. I don't really know what the over and under is. I didn't really think about that, but the over might be a good pick. I didn't realize UConn's got some good research there. I didn't realize UConn's defense was that bad.
When you really look at it, they've given up in 4 games 218 points. That's the most in college football this year. So to me, they've got some problems, and they need to fix them really quick, or they're going to go 0-10.
Yeah, and we know Cincinnati, they beat that juggernaut UCLA earlier in the season.
Yes, they did, and guess what? They beat them convincingly.
All right.
You go on your first 5-star then.
Okay, so last week, both my upsets hit. Not only did Tech destroy Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State was a 14-point favorite, and I can't quote the exact score. I think Tech won by 30. I got another upset this week. I'm not sure that the upset will happen, but I'm sure my 5-star lock of the week is Northwestern over the Skunk Weasels. For those of y'all that don't know who the Skunk Weasels are, that's that team with the baby poop yellow wings on their helmet. The Michigan Wolverines. I'm sorry, I shouldn't make fun of them. But it's
Skunk Weasels.
Anyway, Northwestern had a bye week last week, and they're also Northwestern in the last 2 years has won 8 of 11 against the spread when they're double-digit underdogs. I mean, they just play really well. Fitzgerald's an excellent coach. He gets his team up. They had a bye week, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare for Michigan. Michigan's played really good ball the last 2 weeks. I can just look for Northwestern to hand it to Michigan. It's going to be a really close game. It'll be tight into the 4th quarter. And with any kind of luck at all, Northwestern will upset Michigan. That's my 5-star lock of the week.
5-star lock. Okay. I've looked at the points and what the Northwestern does and what Michigan does. I'm thinking it's going to be a lot closer than what everybody is looking at, but I think that Michigan might squeak by them, but they will not cover. They will definitely not cover. Okay, let's go with Purdue against the mighty Nebraska Cornhuskers.
The Bug Eaters.
Oh, buddy. They're looking like bug eaters this week. Purdue's 1-3.
Is it Purdue or Purdue?
Well, one or the other, and they're they're a 3-point favorite over Nebraska, and they're 1-3.
Yeah.
They outscore their opponent 28-25, which is 3 points. But when it comes right down to it, Nebraska average score 19 points a game, and their average score against them is 37. Their defense is terrible. Scott Frost is probably at least 2 recruiting classes away from having any kind of chance to win at Nebraska. Their athletes are subpar, and they just don't have it. Nebraska goes 0-4 here, and Purdue covers. Purdue looks like a well-oiled machine against this kind of defense. So take Purdue, give up the points, and feel easy and safe about it.
Well, I'm gonna have to take your word for that one. I can't take Purdue, and I can't take the Bug Eaters. As far as Purdue goes, I was this close to taking them last week. I almost said that I was going to take Purdue and make them Purdue again. They barely lost the first 2 weeks. They were just due to win. I'm 1 week too late, and I'm just afraid to jump on them. They've had bad luck. Nebraska's due, but they're trash, and so it's just hard to get on with either one of those teams. But Purdue is definitely, the Boilermakers is the better team, so I can't argue there.
No, I just feel sorry for all the Nebraska fans. Yeah. So, okay.
So my next, probably my 4-star. I'm going to jump around a little bit. We already talked about it. So here, I already really like this game a lot. So the Ohio Bobcats are 5-1 against the spread at home. Real good home in the last 6 games. And UMass has not won against the spread since 2016.
Yeah.
And then they may be the only team like that out there. They're the only team that I can find. They did not at all at 2017, and not at all this year.
No.
That is horrible. And on top of that, I think they did win 1 or 2 games, but it was against a team I didn't even know was a university. And I'm still not sure they are. They lost their first-string quarterback last week, so they bring in their second-string quarterback. He was doing pretty good. And they said, well, we might be able to play with him. Well, they lost their second-string quarterback last week. Pretty sure their third string is a walk-on and has not got many reps during this season.
Not only that, he's a walk-on kicker.
Yeah. So, my 4-star lock would be Ohio by 13.5. And I have to look at it. You might even want to look at the under on that game. But definitely the Ohio Bobcats by 13.5. That would be my second pick.
I love this pick, and I guess you can see the trend here this week. We're not only picking our best picks are not actually accrediting the better team. They're just slamming the bad defenses that we've seen play all year long. So speaking of bad defenses, Appalachian State minus 27 going up against Southern Alabama.
Oof.
Southern Alabama is 1-3. App State's 2-1. App State scores 50 points a game. Southern Alabama scores 28, and they give up 42 a game.
Wow.
So to me, look for App State's O to score at will and make Southern Alabama defense look pitiful again. So take the App State minus 27 and feel good about it.
Okay. Yeah, good pick. Southern Alabama, is that like the Crimson Tide's cheerleaders?
No, that's the Southern Alabama School for the Blind.
Okay. Okay. That's why they're giving up so many points.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, come on. I knew there had to be a reason.
There's definitely a reason. You wonder why they miss tackles? I don't.
Tackle in air. It's a good way to avoid injuries.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, they don't have to worry about an injury report there.
All right. Okay, so the next pick I'm going to go with. So here's the deal. Mississippi State lost their coach last year. He went to Florida. Dadgummit.
You tell me his name. I don't know.
Dadgummit.
His name's Dadgummit.
It's not important. Anyway, so Mississippi State loses their coach. He goes to Florida. Mississippi State should have won that game last week. They lost. They were overlooking the game last week. They were looking towards Florida. Mississippi State is 8-2 against the spread at home in their last 10 games, which is amazing. If you notice a trend, that's a trend I look at. Well, how's a team do against the spread? Florida in their last 5 games on the road is 1-4. I believe that Mississippi State, they've been game planning for this game for probably since the off season. Their coach just left them high and dry. He said he was leaving for a better program. They've been laying in wait for this game. They're favored by 7. I look for them to win by at least 17. It's going to be a very vicious, hard-hitting game. That would be my 3-star lock.
That's your 3-star. Mississippi State surprised me last week when they got beat by Kentucky, and I think they're angry. I think they're hungry, and I think they'll walk on Florida. I got to take the 7 points in Mississippi State myself. Okay, one of the big games that everybody's anticipating watching. Number 3 Clemson going into Syracuse, giving up 24 points. Both teams are 4-0. To me, Syracuse keeps this tight, keeps it real tight, and I think there's some dissension at Clemson because of the quarterback change, and I think there's turmoil at Clemson. I don't think that they're going to get away with. They'll get away with the win probably, but I think it's having such a negative impact that I think Syracuse is a better team to bet on this week. Take Syracuse in the points.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Dabo Swinney came out and he made a change at quarterback. He took Kelly Bryant out, the senior who's been with them for a while, and he put in the freshman. And Kelly Bryant walked away from the team. He's redshirting and he's transferring.
Yep.
And so now they have no backup. Hopefully that freshman works out for him. A lot of the, I wouldn't say a lot. Some of the seniors are upset about that. You know, they got a lot. That's a senior laden team. And they've grown up together, and he was a good leader.
Yeah.
So I mean that's it. So he's out. So there's a little bit of turmoil, and that's going to be a distraction. So I'd have to agree. 24 points is a lot. Syracuse beat them last year. They're 4-0 this year, and I look for them to keep it close as well. They get no respect. They're 4-0. Nobody in the country even knows it unless you're a Syracuse fan. All you hear is Clemson.
Yep.
So I don't even know if they're ranked. If they are ranked, it's pretty low.
No, they're not. They're not ranked, but there's 4-0. This is the same scenario that you have at Alabama, but Nick Saban's taking care of it a lot differently. He's making sure that the reporters don't say anything bad about either one of his quarterbacks. He's telling everybody that both of his quarterbacks will get playing time and they'll use them in different packages. But the fact of the matter is that he's taken out Hurst and put in, I can't say his last name. We call him Tui or Tua. But I think that Nick Saban's handled the press a lot better than what Dabo did. And maybe Dabo showed a little bit more class by saying, hey, this is our guy. He's our best chance of going, so that's what we're going to do. But to me, it caused a lot of controversy. And
there's a little bit of difference, too. Bryant's a senior. This is it for him. If he'd have played in one more game, he's stuck, not playing, and all he has is the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, if he redshirts, they can go to another team and showcase his talent to where, in Alabama, oh boy, he still has a full year. He's going to transfer next year. He won't be at Alabama.
No, I promise you he won't be at it. And truthfully, I wouldn't stay at Alabama if I was him anyway. So.
Yeah, and so we'll just see what happens. That red shirt, Clemson will lose this year. That red shirt will make some mistakes. They would have lost against Alabama if it wasn't for Bryant. They had to pull that red shirt freshman out, and Bryant come in and won the game for them. That's why some of them seniors are upset. Anyway, let's move on a little bit. Haven't talked about last week you took I believe we made fun of Old Dominion and how trashy they were, and they haven't given up anything. You picked them. I stayed away from them. And they ups. Not only did they cut, what were they, a 30-point underdog or 24? And not only did they beat Vautech, or not only did they cover, they beat Vautech, and they're going around campus and beating on their chest. And this is the first time they've ever beat a Power 5 school, and everybody was telling them how great they were, and you should have seen them singing, and the coach was on the Today Show, and I mean, they're getting all this press, and they're just singing in their praises. And you know what? I don't know. I don't think they're just talking about their greatness, and they haven't been preparing for East Carolina, and they're just living in the past because of this game, and they're going to go in and get whooped on by East Carolina. So I just think you picked against Old Dominion 1 week too early. They're going to get thumped by probably 30. East Carolina would be another one of my 3 stars, actually. East Carolina's -5. There's no way Old Dominion even keeps this game close. It will be ugly in the first half.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of teams when they overachieve 1 week, they underachieve the following week, and they can't understand what happened.
Yeah.
To me, Old Dominion surprised everyone, and especially Virginia Tech, I'm sure. especially Virginia Tech, and maybe they were looking forward to Duke. I don't know, but when it really comes down to it, I said this last week. Old Dominion had nothing to lose and everything to win, and it's a good time to bet on folks like that. So see what you can do about East Carolina this week. It's a good pick at -5, and I don't know. I think it'll be a good game to watch.
Yeah. Matter of fact, if you really want to just look at last week's YouTube video if you want to find out about Old Dominion, because Curtis Big C just really goes into them and talks about them. You find out all you want to. Look at last week.
Look at last week. It was a fun week, and we have a lot of fun doing this. I want to say one thing. Our sponsor is Zervita, the company behind Zeal for Life products. We are proud to be a part of that team, and understand that we feel like it's the probably the very best product on the market that is a all-in-one inclusive nutritional product that's powering champions around the world.
Hey, man, it's like drinking a whole GNC store in one shot, man.
All in one shot.
It's what gives me so much energy. Makes me laugh all the time.
All the time. All right. So what do you want to talk about next?
Well, just really one more game, maybe 2. So TCU's lost the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks they've had 7 turnovers in 2 games. And that's just not like them. And their defense hasn't played up to par. I don't believe they'll have that many turnovers this week. So they're -10 over Iowa State. I believe Iowa State's totally outclassed. TCU's lost the last 2 weeks. I look for them big, -10. I look for them at least maybe 21 over Iowa State. That's probably a 2-star lock.
Yeah, TCU's turned the ball over and had a lot of penalties in both of the last 2 weeks. It's not like Patterson not to clean that up.
Yeah.
So, if he's the coach that I've seen him be, you'll not see the turnovers and the penalties against Iowa State, and you will see the real TCU because they're going to stand up this week. Yeah, I think that's a real good pick at -10. All right. Anything left that you want to talk about?
Well, we didn't. In preparation, we came up with a game, really. So at the last second, we were looking at Army Buffalo. Army controls the clock. So there's 60 minutes in a game, and they held the ball for 45. That is unheard of. I don't know what the record is, but it's got to be close to it.
It's got to be close.
Buffalo does the same thing. So Buffalo's favored by 8. I know that you like Army. You can talk about that. I like the under in the first half. What I like to do, I do that with Wisconsin all the time. If I was a betting man, I would bet the under in the first half. I mean, both teams try to control the ball with any success at all. They're going to eat the clock and score a touchdown. If they don't have success, they're going to eat a little clock and not score a touchdown. Both ways work in your favor.
Both ways work toward the under. Yeah, and to me, I'll probably bet the under all year long on Army.
Yeah.
You know, just because, you know, unless it's 22, I got to figure Army's going to get their points. They're going to hold on to the ball as much as possible. They've got a very talented offensive line that last week blew the defensive line off the ball every play. And now here's the deal with Buffalo. They've got an extremely good trio at running back.
Oh yeah.
And their quarterback has over 1,000 yards. No. Yeah, over 1,000 yards in the first 4 games. To me, wow, that is extraordinary. So I can see Buffalo, you know, covering, but I'm not betting against Army again this year.
No.
You know, I've got all the respect in the world for that Army crew. So I won't bet against them.
Here's the last thing about Army, which I didn't talk about when they were playing OU. There was only one yahoo in the whole crowd that I heard he was a little inebriated, disrespecting Army, and then and he was right behind me.
Really?
Yeah, and I turned around and told him I was still in the Army, as were a lot of the people around me, and I said, I want to tell you something about these guys. I don't know if you know, this ain't just, their name is not just Army. These guys are in the Army. They're officers, and 2 years from today, a lot of them will be defending this country over in Afghanistan in combat, giving their lives. I just want you to know that as you're throwing out those profanities. How do you know that? I said, what do you mean, how do I know? They're all cadets. They're at West Point. These are officers. All of them are Army officers. And so, you know, they got to do their studies. The academics there are unreal. They got to do all their Army stuff, and they got to practice. I just want to give it up to all the academies.
All the Armed Forces academies.
Yeah.
You know, we want to stand up and say thank you. Thank you very much for all your services.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not going to just say thank you. I'm going to say thank you, dear God. You know, because they are the people that are keeping this nation free, and the people that disrespect the flag, I've got nothing for them. Absolutely nothing.
Well, thanks for another week. Hey, we're 9-3 again last week. Hey, if you are gonna bet, don't bet any more than you can afford to lose. You know, if you want to do it for entertainment, like if you're gonna take money and go out to eat or wherever to a show, and you'd rather just be careful. And if you have a problem gambling, don't gamble. They got Gambles Anonymous. We just do this for fun. We put these picks on because we're really good at it. You know, I've known Curtis for years now, and we get together every week, and we're real good at these picks. And we said, you know what? Let's start putting these on YouTube so other people can take advantage of our picks.
And I'll just put it to you this way. I've looked at some of the guys out there, you know, selling picks back and forth, and if they were 9-3, you'd be paying them $700 a week just for their opinion on what's going on. This is free, and we're happy to do it for you. Have a great day, and may God bless you all.